In this lesson video, we will continue our robot project. This is what we have from the previous lesson. Before we add any materials, let's organize our objects in the outliner. Currently, we have everything inside a single collection. We want all of the reference objects, which are the front, the side, and the volume sketch objects, all grouped into a separate collection. To do that, we can click this button up here. This will create a new collection. We can rename the new collection to Ref, which stands for reference. Then select all of the reference objects and drag them all to the new Ref collection. Now that all of them are inside a single collection, we can hide and unhide all of them via the collection. At this stage, you might be wondering, where are the arms and the legs objects in the outliner? Well, they exist but hidden. The reason why they are hidden is because we parent them to the thigh and the lower torso objects. Notice if we click the caret button to expand the object, we can see the calf object is inside the thigh object, and the foot object is inside the calf object. So that is the reason why they are not visible in the main level. Okay, now because all of these objects are part of the robot, let's just rename the collection to robot. Let's drag this so we have more room for the material parameters. Next, to work with materials, we should be using the material preview mode, not the solid mode. Previously, when we created the materials, we picked the colors directly in Blender without any reference. In this lesson, I'm going to show you a different approach to select colors, which is basically using provided color reference. Just imagine that your client or your art director already has a preferred color scheme, so you don't need to come up with a new color. They are expecting you to just follow the reference. To do this, first, go to the front view, open the file explorer or the file browser that you have in your system, and open the folder where the color scheme image is located. I already provided this image for you to download, but feel free to use or create your own if you want to. I created this using Krita of the record. That is why I still have the original .cra file here. Currently, when I record the video, Blender does not support the native Krita file, so we need to use the PNG version of the image. Just drag and drop the image into Blender like so. Let's resize this reference image to 2 meters only, and just move it here. Let's start creating some materials. I am using the selection tool now, just to be safe. Let's start with the upper torso object. Select the object, open the material panel, and click New here. Let's start with the most dominant color in the upper torso, which is yellow. Now, the yellow material that I have in mind is painted metal. Basically, a fully painted metal is not metal anymore, but rather a dielectric material. So let's name this material paint.gloss.yellow. Next, for the base color, we want to pick the color from this reference image. To do that, just click on the color, then activate the eyedropper tool here, and click on the color in the reference image. So that is how you pick a color from an image reference. Next, we want this material to be glossy. To do that, just reduce the roughness value to 0.2. Next, click the plus button to create a new slot. We want to create another paint gloss material, but use orange for the base color. For this, instead of creating it from scratch, let's duplicate it from the yellow material. So, while this slot is selected, activate the yellow material. Then duplicate the material by clicking on this button here. Now we have a new material. This one is independent from this one. Let's rename this to paint.gloss.orange. Then pick the base color. Use the eyedropper tool to pick the orange color from the reference. Next, we want to assign the orange material to this area here, and also the inner area inside the hole. To do this, we can go to the local mode, and go to the edit mode. Select this face here, then go to the select menu, select linked, and then linked flat faces. We can increase the sharpness threshold here so that the neighboring faces get selected also. Press Ctrl plus several times until we have these faces selected. Make sure we have the orange material selected, then click the Assign button here. Hold Alt and click here. Then Shift Alt and click here. Then Shift and click these two faces. Pick the orange material and then hit Assign. Let's look at the back side. Select these four faces. Choose the orange material and then hit Assign. Now we have something like this. Next, we want to create a black metal material for the faces at the outer eye. First, let's get out from the local mode. Create a new slot and a new material. Rename the new material to metal.black. For the base color, we will sample the color from the reference image again, which is this dark gray color here. This material should be metal, so set the metallic value to 1. For the roughness, this material should be more towards glossy, so let's change the roughness value to 0.3. Let's assign the material to the eye faces. Make sure we are in the face mode, deselect all, and then Alt and click on this edge. Ctrl plus to grow the selection, then assign the black metal material. Now we have something like this. Next, for the glass, we want to use this dark blue color. Create a new slot, new material, rename it to glass.blue. For the base color, pick the color from the reference. We want this to be super glossy, so set the roughness value all the way to 0. Next, select the two faces at the center of the eye, then grow the selection. Assign the blue glass material. Okay, the last material we need to create for the upper torso is the chrome material. We are going to put this on the right and the left shoulders. Just like before, create a new slot, new material. Rename the material to metal.chrome. Use the color from the reference as the material's base color. Change the material to metal by inputting 1 on the metallic value. For the roughness, it should be glossier than the black metal, which has 0.3 roughness value. So let's input 0.2. Next, to apply the material, go to the edit mode, select this face here, hold Shift, and also this face here. Ctrl plus several times until we have the shoulder areas selected. Choose the metal chrome material slot and then hit Assign. Press Ctrl minus several times until we have the inner faces selected, then apply the black metal material. So now we have something like this. Next, we don't need this reference image anymore. You can delete it if you want to. Or we can drag and drop the reference image to the ref collection. Let me make the outliner bigger for now, and just drag this item to the ref collection. Next, we want to add materials to the arm and hand objects. Select the arm's mesh object. From this point forward, we won't be creating any new materials. We will just be reusing the existing materials that we have created before. So click on the material list and choose metal.black. For the hand, let's start with the chrome material. Go to the edit mode. Select this face loop. Grow the selection until this point. Create a new material slot. Use the yellow paint material, and then assign the material. Let's push this up again so we have more room for the material. The last one is this center face. Create a new slot, choose the black metal material, and then assign. For the rest of the robot parts, the process is pretty much similar. I'm speeding up the video now, as we're not going to create any new materials, and there is no new technique we can discuss also. Okay guys, we are done adding the materials, and this is what we have so far.